The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on wherever you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle, inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Happy 420.
Indeed. Uh-oh. That's not 420. That's a different holiday when you sniff like that.
That's 8:30.
8:30.
Or Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, baby. Okay, here we go. And he's not here yet because he had to restart. But, I'm going to introduce him anyway. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. He's next in line for the cow. He's our intrepid senior reporter. It's Oz. He'll pop in any second now. Then you'll see him.
Forgetting to upload that picture of him.
I do a bad Oz impression, apparently. Yeah. Anyway. As for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today because we're going to be talking to you about all types of stuff. We're going to give you a review of Image 30th Anniversary Anthology #1. We're going to give you a review of Flashpoint Beyond #0. And we'll talk about the latest and greatest in comic book news and, of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And we'll tell you how it is that you can get down on Fantastic Forum and let us know what it is you want to talk about in just a moment. But first, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the show would not exist. So thank you very much, Scott. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. And so I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and have the intern tell you what's up.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I agree. I definitely want to. I'm happy that I've joined the party. Mary Young has joined your party.
And now you're doomed.
And now I'm doomed. There it is.
So,
Jay.
I did have a question.
Hopefully we have answers, Jay.
I kind of wanted to wait for Oz because I know he's a big movie guy.
Oh, well, it's a good thing that you started without him.
I was going to ask if anyone, and by anyone, I mean not you, Mo. I know you didn't go. But did anyone check out Fantastic Beasts 3?
I have not yet. I would like to. Even though I will say it doesn't.
But enough to risk a theater?
I mean, at this point, yeah. If I were to go see Morbius, I'll go see anything at this point. It's like, apparently I don't care about my life.
Morbius is like the cinematic equivalent of Arby's.
Just like, nah. There's not a movie that's going to come out this year that I'm going to be like, well, I know I went to go see Morbius, but I'm definitely not going to go see that. I doubt it. I can't imagine. Like, what movie is that going to be? I can't think of anything on the slate of things that I would actually go see.
I'm behind on my Fantastic Beasts. I only watched half of the first movie.
Go ahead.
I enjoyed it, and that's why I'm a fan now, but I haven't watched it.
I enjoyed the first two for what they were. I it's not like they're terrible movies by any means. It's just one of those things where that world has so much potential and so much lore to tap into, and the movies those two movies, they scratch the surface of it. Oh, actually, it's not even scratch the surface. I guess it's more about something about the execution of it.
Like
it doesn't quite execute to the degree that I know that I would have hoped as a Harry Potter fan. And when I say that,
people say that about the movies too, though. The Harry Potter movies.
I think that that's different. I think that that's people those are like the ultra purists that are like, oh, but on this page of the book he does this, and then he didn't do. Because realistically, as far
people.
No, but I mean it like when I say that, I mean it like in a way, like I feel like the people that criticize the Harry Potter movies for not being close enough to the book are the same people that criticize like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies, and it's like one of those things. And don't get me wrong, I will say this, even that's an unfair comparison, because the reality situation is that Peter Jackson actually took some actual liberties with like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that he does change in big ways that, the movies are so good that most people forgive. And, it's only a handful of people that even know because, Lord of the Rings nerd, but they're Lord of the Rings nerds that I think some of their gripes are legit, where it's like, well, if he's going to go this far down a rabbit hole in regards to detail on this side, then why didn't he just leave these things over here the way that they're supposed to be? And I can understand that, but I feel like the Harry Potter folks are worse than that, because they're talking about things where it's like I can't even think of like major changes that happen from the novels to the movies. Like there's definitely things they leave out, but I can't think.
That's the biggest complaint.
Yeah, but it's what do they want? Like I'm just saying, like, every Harry Potter movie is a long movie. Like they're all like 2 hours long, right? And it's supposed to be for children. So it's like, my guy, like you have to sacrifice something. And don't get me wrong, like they can remake them.
You don't need to sacrifice. Like you can just show it. Just part 1 and 2 of the first movie. Like
no.
Yeah.
Man, listen, as a person that I've read all those books and they're fantastic, and the books are better than the movies. Yes, go read the books.
No,
if you want, listen. Okay, you don't want details, then that's fine. Like that's what you got to do to get those details. You got to go read the books, because that's what it turns out. A book is a different medium than a movie.
Personally, like I am that dude that doesn't like the changes. That's me.
Yeah,
I built this career.
Wait, what? Mo, you? That's you?
Yeah.
Oh, Mo, I had no idea.
But,
I had no idea.
I think the Harry Potter movies are perfect the way they are.
Dude.
Because I've never taken like such a sound sleep in a theater in my life as I have through all those movies.
Oh,
like the first one was on my mother's couch, slept like a baby. Then I went to the theater with my niece. Boom. Couple first dates for each movie, henceforth, and I slept through all of them.
Well, man, I don't know what to tell you, friend.
Real quick,
I'm good. I like that.
Tiger Claw says, never seen the Fantastic Beasts movies. I think the issue is that it's not about Harry Potter. It's about the guy who wrote the book Harry Potter was studying. What do they want? They want Harry Potter. That's what. If they made a new Harry Potter where we see him as a grown man, people will watch it. No, you're a little bit off on this one, Tiger Claw. Fantastic Beasts is something people want because it does what the Harry Potter movies don't do, and it gives shine to some of the other classes, specifically Hufflepuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Hufflepuff gets no shine.
Right. So it's like
they made 8 movies. No notable Hufflepuffs show up.
Right.
Do they show up in the book?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people. That's the main complaint. It's like their favorite house doesn't get enough shine.
Well, if your favorite house is Hufflepuff, because everybody else is fine.
If you want, like, if you like, Terry Cloud talks about more of an adult Harry Potter. Like, if you want that, just read, Books of Magic by Neil Gaiman.
Well, understand that he's not saying a more adult Harry Potter. He's saying Harry Potter as an adult.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, more adult Harry Potter, not in content, but in the character, a little older and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got everything you like in Harry Potter. A dude with black hair and glasses that has that does magic and has a pet owl.
There you go.
There
you go.
I actually just bought one of the trade paperbacks. It was a Mo deal at $1.99.
Mo deal. Listen, plus they made a whole Broadway play. Like, if you want Harry, if Harry Potter is an adult, right?
Yeah, but I mean, not everybody likes Harry Potter is gay.
Hermione is black.
Wow. Wait, what?
Jay,
what?
Go ahead.
What?
Jay.
What to both of you? What? What?
Isn't that the one where they made Hermione black?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, not me, I was fine with it. Like, Hermione is awesome. But I know a lot of people were complaining about it.
Jay was like, Hermione the Blacks? Like, what? What did Jay say? Hermione the Blacks? What does that mean?
I didn't say that. I said they made Hermione black.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, there were people complained. Like, not me. I didn't complain. I never knew what she was supposed to be.
You didn't complain. You just hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. Like, the only thing I thought, like, concerning the play was that that just made me think of the play Daniel Radcliffe did.
Where the one where he's naked?
Yeah, you can see his dick.
Wait, what?
Inside.
His wand.
Daniel Radcliffe did a Broadway play where you can see his dick.
Why? Like, why do you even know that?
It was on a Robot Chicken sketch.
What?
Extendiandis.
Is that a real thing, or is that something you just made up?
I just made it up.
Yeah,
or it might be
a
real
thing.
Wait, what? Listen, I'm done. I'm done with that. Like, I don't even understand how we got here.
Yeah,
but I'm taking us back to.
I blame you, Larry.
I'm taking it like Jay. Did you watch part 3 of Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like,
any issue with the recast?
He liked it.
I didn't have any issue with the recast.
Okay.
Like, I thought it was fine.
Who did they recast?
They got rid of Johnny Depp because of he's a crazy person.
Allegedly,
like, not Ezra Miller crazy, but
yeah. But he's allegedly a crazy person.
No, but he's not allegedly, because like the messed up part for Johnny Depp is that people were on this dude's side. And then he got greedy and decided to countersue his at the time at the time wife, right? I don't know, Amber Heard. And whatever, like girlfriend, wife, whatever she is, and said some stuff that basically incriminated himself. And now that they're like, well, you basically just admitted that you're an abuser. And so this is like, damn it, Johnny. You messed around and nobody, like everybody was with you, or not at least with you enough, because they were like, oh man, she's kind of being abusive. And then this fool went and decided to countersue, and he's like, yeah. And then when she did this, I did that, and then she did this. And they're like, wait, what did you do? That was basically how it happened. And they're like, dude, you can't do that. And he's like, well, yeah, but she said, and it's like, you still can't do that no matter what she says. And then now this fool can't be in the last movie. It was like, damn it. My God, guy, all you had to do was shut up.
Next on Larry's advice to abusers, just shut up. That's a new segment. I'm gonna cut that whole segment out of you advising Johnny Depp.
This isn't me trying to advise the dude on how to get out of. I want him to be held accountable.
How to Get Away with Beating Your Wife by Larry Young.
I was just like it was like the, what is that called in sports? What is it? The unforced error. Right? Unforced error. Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like, dude, like, and this all has to do with me just saying, like, I would have liked to see him finish the role that he started. That's all I'm saying. It's like, this is not about like, oh, Johnny Depp's a good person or any of that. This is like, damn,
it's too late.
If you had shut up, you could have been in the movie. And people, yeah, and then it's so crazy because people are so mad because there are all these people. They're like, well, because there are all these people that are trying to get her cut out of Aquaman 2,
yeah,
and as Mira, and they're like, oh, like, they literally were doing like campaigns as soon as they realized the tides were turning, and then this fool messed around and said this stuff, and now this fool's out of his movie, and she's probably going to end up in Aquaman 2 still. And they
make a Mira movie,
and now they're big mad because they're going, it's not fair, and it's like, well, it is fair because Johnny Depp's dumb and an abuser, and it turns out that Amber Heard might be an abuser, but she's smart enough to be quiet about it, and she can be in her movie.
Women get called toxic, not abusers.
I mean, listen, I don't think that's. I wouldn't say it like that because I feel like. I'm not saying women are definitely abusive, like, or can be, but most of the abuse that happens is from men. So
Mary with the blanket statements and misogyny.
Is that misogyny?
I don't know what misogyny is.
It's not.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like, I'm just talking about, like, I'm just talking about like what gets reported. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are guys out there that are silently suffering because. Our society doesn't give men the leeway to like express their actual feelings all the time. So that's probably a thing, but it's like, I don't know what to tell you on that. It's like, you can't mess around and get or convict people of crimes that don't get reported, right?
Yeah.
Or you could, but that's how whatchamacallit happens, right? That's well, look, you're right, because Lord knows they're playing people. Look, people get convicted of crimes that don't happen. But those get reported though, right?
But they don't
reporting on crimes that didn't happen, but they still get convicted. So I guess my statement stands. I don't know.
Tire Claw wanted us to talk about something really important, which was the Love and Thunder teaser trailer for Thor.
Did you see that, Jay?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did it say? I'm sorry. What it said? What?
Oh, it says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? How you like that Thor Love and Thunder teaser trailer? A really good choice for music." And what does Moses think?
There it is. I'm sorry, Moses. What do you think?
I'm kind of mad that Thor Love and Thunder didn't come out on my birthday. Well, because
it's supposed to, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't know about that, but I remember the first one did, and I didn't like the first one.
Dude, Thor's come a long way since that joint, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it got
movies
progressively better. The movies got progressively better, but I got really excited at that teaser, and I thought the choice of music was okay. Like, I like that song, but it is overused. But doesn't mean I don't like it when I hear it. So, but yeah, and it's funny. It had a little too much Guardians in it, but it's okay. But
yeah.
And
it's
interesting like the vibe between I hate that Star-Lord is like this in the MCU, but the vibe that he and Thor have against each other is funny, even though it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
So that's the only thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's like Christopher Pratt brought a little too much of himself to that Star-Lord, because it's like the snarkiness I feel is kind of right, honestly. It's just that there's like a little underlying part of that's like not pathetic, but like
it's like frat boyish, where it should be more like professional snarkiness, I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that does make sense. And then also too, but I just feel like there's like a little like lovable loser thing that goes on with Star-Lord in MCU that is like the ratios are off, because there's a little bit of that goes on with him in the 616, but not to as much as what Pratt does.
Yeah.
Jay, you're showing us go ahead.
Ron Mars was tweeting, never forget the comics are the dog, not the tail. And he shows the original comic panel compared to the movie shot. And damn, like, it looks really
awesome,
good.
right?
Like,
look, that's why I love
that person gets compensated.
Yeah. And that's why I love Taika Waititi, because he reads fucking comics.
Yeah.
he bought our shirt that says "Read fucking comics," and then he did it for the fucking movie.
Yeah, no, that is a cool thing. Even though, you know,
it's all look. It's not going to be that story.
I will say this. I'm like, I know they've shown like some like behind the scenes kind of shots of Christian Bale as Gore. Like, you know, like nothing like really spot on. Like, oh, this is what it's going to look like in the movie. But little things here and there. But I saw like a Marvel Legends toy for Gore. And, you know, I apologize. I don't have it pulled up because I didn't know. I didn't realize or didn't think about it until we start talking Love and Thunder. I'm not sure I like the way that toy looks as a representation of Gore. That's really what I should say. Yeah. What it looks like an engineer from Prometheus. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And which is, you know, engineers are really cool, intimidating looking figures. Yeah. That's just not what Gore looks like. You know, I mean, they're both
and nobody has to fight them. Nobody, they're just there for the silent scenes. At the moment, like you try watching Prometheus again and you picture that guy like saying, hey, to the craft food services guy, hey, can you give me a coffee? All this fucking like intimidating look. Yeah.
But I was just like, and you know, looking at that Marvel Legend toy, which, you know, like what I can tell you is this. I know that sometimes the Legends toys are spot on, and sometimes, depending on, you know, how far out they have to make the toy in relation to the movie and what they can reveal and what they can't reveal, sometimes the initial toy, like the initial figure, isn't necessarily as accurate as what you see in the movie. But if the figure is any indication of what we're getting from Christian Bale's Gore, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is Gore from the comic.
Yeah.
Gore the God Butcher. And Gore, like, I like Gore's design. It's very simplistic, but there's a lot of contrast between, you know, the Gore, like his skin as an alien with that white, and then all that black you see, and, you know, it like kind of drapes in different ways depending on what's happening and all that kind of stuff. But the toy is like all white, and that's why it looks like the engineer from Prometheus versus like Gore the God Butcher, which I'm like, man, like,
you probably didn't want to have to deal with doing the black stuff.
Who, Marvel Legends?
Yeah.
Nah, man. Like, it can't be that, because they're way beyond that.
I can see the black stuff being more like a CGI thing.
Yeah.
In the movie, yeah.
Look, and I'm sure that would be the case in the movie, but the toy, like, if that's there, they'll figure out a way to recreate it, because at this point they're recreating all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look, I can buy a Havoc figure with the friggin' circles behind it. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
crazy.
from like classic like 80s Havoc, where like where he has like the rings around his wrists, and then he has the rings at his back, and he just like you know what I'm saying? Like I can get a Marvel Legends Havoc that's doing that, like, and it looks just like that. And then that's the gore, that's the Pop. Like,
yeah, that's probably what's going to be in the movie. I trust Pop more than Marvel Legends.
You're hilarious. I love it. Like every Pop doesn't have the same body. Like you said it. Like, but they do manage to make these fools look different.
Like I bought one that's I bought the Modern Family one, and I actually bought the gay couple. And
yeah,
the one
exactly who those fools are. You're right.
The one dude is actually, they pose his body like posing for his shirt.
Yeah. What does he have there? Is that like a scythe?
The sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a sword.
So there's a little bit of black in there.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the Marvel Legends one, but this one looks like it's more on the right path.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see.
Oh, I think I see it. Hold on.
I'm not like a huge gore God Butcher fan like that. I mean, would be pissed if he doesn't look like exactly, but
it's
as
just
a fellow God Butcher, I do have to they have to represent properly.
It's just one of those things where it's like I just don't understand why you don't have why would you not have him look that way? Yeah.
See, that like his drapery is white here, whereas in the Pop he at least had some black drapery, if not all of it.
Is Warpath the Build-A-Figure?
No,
I think it's oh boy, what's oh boy from Thor's buddy, his rock buddy. I think it's that guy.
Oh,
Gorn.
That doesn't look like his leg, but
they gave him a different costume.
I'm
pretty sure.
Like he wears like the Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
No, I don't think he's wearing that in this movie. He has like a different outfit.
Isn't that in the trailer?
Huh?
Isn't he wearing that in the trailer?
He might be wearing it in the trailer. I'm just talking about the figure, Mo. I'm not saying that he's never worn that before. I'm saying that this figure, I don't think has that outfit on. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, it has the trailer figure. Because there was a bit of controversy too, because there's a scene where the shot is really wide and there should be 3 objects instead of 2, and there's only 2, so that people are like saying, "Oh, they scrubbed it. They don't want to show something that might be
spoils." Yeah,
I actually somebody in the studio actually sent me what the original shot looks like. With the 3rd object.
Okay.
Here before we get demonetized or something. Here it is. That's the 3rd.
Makes sense.
It's a word bubble. He's saying fuck with RF.
I think that's the outfit he wears. That's the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah,
that's him.
That's it.
Oh man, there it is. So we solved 2 mysteries at once.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Damn, what did we lost Oz, huh? I know Oz. He said he was coming.
I even forgot he even came on.
Oz was like saying he had to read. Like I don't know, man. Where was Oz?
I think he's working out in the field, so he's in the Airbnb or something.
Oh, got you. So maybe his stuff is messing up. I don't know.
He needs his portable.
But we should move on.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, maybe Oz is out there getting high. It's 420, right?
Well, he got high before the show. That's the problem. So there's all this shit. One thing I do want to talk about before we move on is a little book that came out today called "The Secret History of the War on Weed," and I got the 1 in 10 cover by Dave Johnson, and it's comedian Brian Posehn with Gary Dugan doing the story, and they're that team that did that really good Deadpool. I think they created Headpool, and what's the other one? Dogpool or something. So there it's on Image. It came out. Basically, I thought it was going to be like a comic book documentary about the war on drugs, and because that's actually a very interesting topic, and it's fitting for today because as we start getting progressive with cannabis, and it's becoming a little more legal little by little, it's important to know the reason why it was illegal, and part of it's a racist edict, because you go back far enough, it's the only way that if they criminalize it, they can fuck the Hispanics that were coming over to work and the blacks that were making jazz music at the time. And it became a way to subjugate a segment of the population. And that's one of the reasons they won't make it legal federally just yet. So keep that in mind. That being said, this book does go into that in one page. Everything
in
else
one
is all made
page.
up. Yeah,
Wow.
everything else is all made up. It's a satirized version of the war on drugs, and like the big like Hydra villain is Nancy Reagan, and yeah, I didn't even actually get a chance to read it today because
you were high.
Yeah, possibly, we cannot confirm or deny, but it will be. You're gonna get a more in-depth review of this in a one shot, so you're gonna see it. If you like, subscribe, hit the bell, you'll know when it comes out. And yeah, and I want to thank the good people at Pulp Fiction Comics who actually held this one. This is their last copy, and they held it for me till I got there. So
nice.
They're I know I've been mean to them in the past, but today I'm being nice. We'll see what next week brings.
Weed brings people together.
Oh yeah, I think they were probably high. That's why they're like, yeah, I'll hold it for you. What's your name? Like, because that's what it is. Any other circumstance, like, oh, you need to pull it. Because when I called them up, I was like, hey, did you get this in? And they're like, oh yeah, we did, but we already sold out. All I have is the 1 in 10 cover, and it's $10. Cover price is $4.99, but you do have to order 10 that you may or may not sell to get that cover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I'm a Dave Johnson fan as it is.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for a one-shot review of that I may or may not be medicated for. I mean, for which I may or may not be medicated. Sorry, bad grammar. It'd be a shame to use bad grammar on 420.
Amen, brother. Amen. That's cool. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah. Look, you want to smoke and read it with me, and we could do a one-shot, a double penetration one-shot.
Whoa. Wait, what? Double penetration? I don't listen.
Title. It's a working title.
It can't just be like a 2-shot or I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. There's no 2-shot.
Hey, you're right. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Call it bi, but then it's weird if you like see our pictures on the thumbnail. Like, yeah.
It's just me me in front of you, like, woo.
Yeah. And I'm like,
oh man. Okay, but yeah, no, that would look. We'll talk about it. We'll figure that out. You know me, like I love when my comics get political. So yeah. I'm all for it.
It's a good team doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a group that feels like they can hit on the key points and satirize it properly so that you laugh your backside off. So that's cool.
Comic book
review.
Comic book
like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right. So let's start off with Image 30th Anniversary Anthology #1. Oh, Jay, you're slipping.
Yes.
You're slipping.
I told you I'm not saying all that.
Jay, where's our exclamation mark, Jay? There's an exclamation mark after image.
Yeah, it's not image, it's image.
Where is it, Jay? Look, why are you such a hater on Image Comics, Jay? Listen.
I don't exclaim often.
Ain't that the truth?
That's the title of this episode.
Jay's excited right now. I'm just saying, when you leave that exclamation off image, that's how you mess around and get Rob Liefeld walking up on you and give you one of those movies, those stage slaps. Just like,
yeah,
put the fucking
Liefeld
exclamation point in your fucking mouth.
exactly. So, but yes, so
I feel like he owes me some artwork.
Oh Lord, listen, Rob Liefeld owes you at least 10 years worth of young blood.
Remind me, Jay, that my final thought is actually him. It's actually an explanation why you're not getting Bloodshot, Bloodsport #2.
Okay,
remind me.
I will.
That's funny. So Jay, do you want to tell the audience what image exclamation point image 30th anniversary anthology #1 is?
It's like heavy metal, but image.
The end.
Yeah, like it's basically an anthology. Some of Image's best and brightest doing short stories. Technically, most of them aren't short. They're to be continued throughout this anthology. Some take place over all 12 issues. A couple only 2 or 3. And we've got all sorts of people, all sorts of stories. Yeah, like legit heavy metal, but image.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a good description. And obviously there are people out here that have never read heavy metal, so they don't know. But it doesn't
read like Shonen Jump. Like,
I mean, yeah, if you've read Shonen Jump, then yeah, they would have a better idea. But they might not necessarily know that Shonen Jump and heavy metal. Like, I think most people would not know to equate the two. But you could. And especially if you've read them both, you would know that. But listen, this is why Fantastic Forum exists. Because there's only a handful of us that have read both of those. And 3 of them are on this show.
and none of them are listening.
None of them are listening, right? Exactly. So it's like, but yeah. So I mean, but chances are you understand the general concept of an anthology, and yeah, you're right. Sometimes anthology stories are like one and done, and sometimes they're they're in parts and go from one anthology to the next. And it turns out that the majority of the stories in this book are those types of anthologies where
sometimes anthologies have themes, and this one does not.
No,
but
not at least none that
Image
can
is a
suss out.
theme, which no.
You said unless what?
Unless Image is a theme, but it's not.
I think it might be, in a sense. Like, it's just you get a little bit of everything. Like, Image has comics for everyone, and you're gonna get. This is a broad. There's gonna be stories here you might not like, but there's gonna be a good chunk that you will.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's like indie Image. Like, you don't really get superhero Image.
No,
you do get one Radiant Black story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you reading Radiant Black, Jay?
Or have you read? Buying Radiant Black.
Got it, but have yet to read.
Like 12 issues of it.
Yeah.
And I have not read them yet.
No, listen.
I didn't even realize his symbol, his superhero symbol, I didn't even realize what it was until today, because it's 420, and I was reading it, and I'm like, oh shit, So
What is it?
it's the black hole, the light emitting, not being able to leave the black hole. That the way shit, I can't
Like
Event Horizon.
Horizon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Mo was like,
Right.
you know the thing, goddamn. Got it, okay. No,
It's 420, man.
Because he has gravity powers. So.
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
much like, not quite as deep in as you, Jay, but I definitely own like 5 of them myself, and I have yet to read them. And I've been I can't tell you how often I've taken all of those issues with me and ended up not reading them. Like, because every time I've been traveling, I take a stack of books with me to read, and I end up just not getting to that portion.
Jay, do you want to laugh at him?
Why?
No, I get it. Like,
no, because if Jay has to travel, he can take hundreds of comics with him.
Oh
and
yeah,
not
I
read
take
them.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take a good chunk of my library with me.
Hey,
I
mean,
have,
listen.
I have like 1,000 comics on me daily.
Listen, that's fine. If you all want to mess around and read your comics on those little screens, you're more than welcome to do that.
It's not little.
My screen is big.
Yeah,
whoa,
bigger than my
okay.
head, yeah.
All right, Mandingo. I'm just saying, don't swing it over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, goddamn. I was just saying, I don't want to read my books like that. Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Hey, put that away, you son of a bitch. That's oh, look at you two.
Let's
Look.
cross swords, Jay. Let's cross swords.
But this joint legit bigger than my head, so
oh, okay.
This is good.
And his
Alright.
is actually in the proportion of the comic book page. So he actually it's like reading one page at a time. That's even probably bigger than the comic book. But in the same proportion.
Listen, I'm not asking y'all to compare your BBTs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to do that. Like, whatever you all want to do with your, that's all up to you. I'm just saying that, I keep physical books because I like reading comics physically. So, but I haven't gotten to those yet.
I have some physical books.
He's accidentally. I love it.
Like, they came with my new car.
That's what happens. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Get a new car, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn it, whose comics are these? That definitely feels like a Fantastic Forum problem.
For the longest time, I had the first appearance of Cable in that car.
Oh,
and I forgot. It was just there, like next to my Van Halen record.
That's
it was
hilarious.
Like the sleeve of my Van Halen record.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Oz is in the building.
Did you watch Fantastic Beasts 3?
No. Why would I?
Wow.
Didn't you love the first 2?
I wouldn't say love. How are my levels, by the way? Because I can't.
Not great.
You're okay, but I think I can help you with that. Don't touch nothing. Let's see. All right. Say something else.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's a quiet time imposed, so at some point I'm gonna get into my sexy ASMR voice.
Oh, jeez.
Look, it sounds like you're already there.
Right.
That's why I just jumped in right now, because for some reason when I upgraded to Windows 11, both the laptop and the headphones are playing at the same time, and I'm like, what the hell?
We're just happy you made it, Oz.
No, you're not.
I literally just said it. Like, why would I lie?
Sir, I can see the chair you're sitting in. It's made of lies.
Wait, what? Okay.
It says, and now Oz shows up, missed all the swinging.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
These guys are out here measuring their BBTs.
I'll probably watch Fantastic Beasts 3. I don't know why they have to give that one fat guy a wand now.
Why can't he have a wand?
Because he's a human.
Well, Hermione's a human.
No. She has magical powers. The other guy has no... He's a muggle. Flat out muggle.
Isn't Hermione the same?
No, because she has
I
innate
thought
powers.
so.
I think she's actually half. She's mixed because they keep calling her Mudblood because she's mixed.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think her parents have magic, but I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, like, you can learn magic, can't you?
I thought you either were born with it or you weren't.
I don't know. I like it.
So Hermione is a Muggle born, which is a Witcher wizard who is born to non-magical parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy isn't. I forget
Or is he? Since he can use a magic wand.
Well, Jay saw the movie. Is he?
They don't go over his lineage except to say that he is a human and that he would pollute the gene pool by dating Queenie.
Yeah, that's how they feel about Hermione.
No.
So look, it turns out that fat guy is a friggin' wizarding genius, just like Hermione.
I think
Dumbledore
would know that.
You talking about Dan Fogler?
Kowalski,
Yeah.
I think is his
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Give him a wand. Fuck you, Oz. Give him a wand.
No, I love that. If they had done it in like the first movie, maybe the second, okay, I'd be with you. But we're three.
I don't care. I
movies
didn't see any of those. He's awesome. Period. That's
I
it.
mean, he is
we
a
should see the
Muggle. You wouldn't give him a wand right off the bat.
And he's good with the animals.
in.
Nah, he's not good with the animals.
Yeah, he's better than most people would be.
For some reason, that made me feel like like we were inside a Little Dicky video just now, where he's good with the animals. No, he's not good with the animals.
Alfonso says, "Where is Oz? Looks like a church mixed with a bar." Brings the green screen back.
Listen, that is exactly where Oz hangs out, at a church mixed with a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only fire water for Oz.
He's like,
This isn't a green screen, by the way. I'm actually on location.
oh, Shrek. You got camera effects and everything. This will. He doing that friggin' slow-mo. Okay. We were just talking about
Alfonso
image.
says they're making 2 more movies.
Are they really making 2 more Fantastic Beasts movies or 2 more Harry Potter movies?
Fantastic Beasts. Harry Potter's done.
I don't know. Like, well, I haven't been keeping track. I just see them when they come out.
They're supposed to be.
The creator's like, she can't make new stuff because she's canceled.
You're
No,
hilarious.
she can still make stuff, but a lot of people are choosing not to see it. And yeah, I know someone was asking for spoilers about The Secrets because they weren't going to go watch. But she can still make stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, Harry Potter's done. That story's done. There is one that's kind of related, the Destiny's Child or some nonsense.
With Beyonce?
It's I forget the name. It has something to do with kids, and it's like a time travel movie.
Yeah, I'm out.
Wait, it has to do with who? Like, I didn't even hear what he said. What did he say?
Kids. It's a like a time travel movie. So Harry Potter isn't even really in it. It's like his kids, like the next generation.
Oh, what's wrong with that? It's like Boruto.
It's not good.
I didn't like Harry Potter because it was all kids. Like, that's why I like Fantastic Beasts, because they're grown up.
Wait,
and yeah, it looks like we're getting 2 more.
Did you watch the first 2 Fantastic Beasts?
I watched half of the first one, and I'm a fan.
I watched the first 2.
So we're talking, and you didn't even watch the new one.
I want to, and I'm excited for it.
You haven't even finished the first one.
Yeah, when I have time, I'll finish it and I'll watch the rest. I'm already a fan.
Fuck, Star Trek all over again.
Look, I'm edging up. I'm edging up, man. I got the comics that fit in between the original series and Next Generation. I'm doing it in order.
I told you would love Fantastic Beasts because it's a magical world with no kids.
Right. And I listened to your advice and I watched it and I enjoyed it. So what the fuck wrong? Why are you mad at me?
He's like the whole half an hour.
Yeah. 45 minutes.
Alfonso says 2 more Fantastic Beasts. Next one is going into more of the school and the 4 original school headmasters.
What? Like, isn't the 4 original school headmasters like way earlier than all the stuff that's happening in Fantastic Beasts?
It's like 1,000 years.
Yeah, like why is that just not a separate
movie? The time
movie?
travel movie is gonna connect them.
Oh, jeez, man. Like I want to see that movie about the 4 original headmasters. It doesn't need to be a Fantastic Beasts movie. Just make it Harry Potter Origin of Hogwarts or Hogwarts Origin or whatever. Or Hogwarts United. I don't know.
Don't forget, it's Fantastic
They can make
Beasts.
it Hogwarts Origins Wolverine.
The title is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, some beasts you can't find anymore. You have to go back and find them.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe they need a Stegosaurus. You don't know.
But yeah, we should get back to Image 30th anniversary.
I blame you.
Is that how this started?
Jay's
yeah,
like,
Jay's like, hey, like in the middle of the review. I was like, okay, well.
I know. Yeah.
It is
I
420.
shouldn't have did that.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm not high. This is just me naturally.
Yeah.
Hi.
Listen.
Jay's high on life.
You get high. I get hey.
Oh, jeez. So, can we just go through these stories and talk about them individually? Y'all want to do that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is The Blizzard by Geoff Johns, Andrea Muti, and Rob Lee.
Amazing story. Love it.
Yeah. Love it. Like Jeff, I've been waiting for Geoff Johns' creator own for since he was on Avengers back in 1998.
Wait, what? You've been waiting for creator-owned Geoff Johns since he was doing Marvel stuff?
Yeah, he was a good writer. I like what he did on the Avengers. No, it wasn't Bendis. Bendis came and did what he did after Geoff Johns. But the Geoff Johns books were still good, and they were good at the time. And I'm like, man, this guy, I want to read something that he would do on his own. Like, what would be his creativity, that he does for himself. The good load. I didn't call it the good load back then because I was a stupid teenager, but
right
now I'm sophisticated enough and gave it a term. But yeah, this one I was just starting off with this one. I'm like, man, they should have saved this for the end.
Okay, all right. And Oz, did you get to read this book?
Yeah, I read it.
What'd you think of this first one, The Blizzard?
I think it's Geoff Johns, a testament to Geoff Johns' genius that he took. What is this? It's supposed to be an 8-parter, and the first part,
12 parts.
The part 1 of the 12 parts felt like a self-contained story.
Yeah,
like you could have just told me it's a one shot, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, that was a cool story.
Yeah.
See, I felt the opposite of that. And here's the thing: the setup I was interested in, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's, and this story does have the unfortunate, I wasn't fully aware that the Image 30th anniversary anthology joint. I knew it was number 1. I didn't know that it was going to necessarily be pieces of stories throughout all the years, throughout the year, which that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't, because y'all know I'm patient.
It sounds like you did.
Well, my problem is this: he sets up a premise for a story, and I'm interested in that, and then the story trails off into this thing where I'm just like, wait, what? Like this guy is going to prison, which he should, or not should, but I get it. I get why it's happening. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen next? And all of a sudden there's this blizzard, and then there's a monster.
I mean, you should have seen the blizzard coming. It's called the blizzard.
Right.
Well, but my problem isn't that there's a blizzard.
It's
My
a
problem
monster.
is like, for when you say like, oh, there's a self-contained story, it's like, well, no, it's not a self-contained story because this guy's getting transferred to a prison, and then a blizzard hits, and then we get a tease of about a monster, and it's like, wait, what? Like, what's the end of that story? There's no end to that story.
Well, you'll get it in issue 12.
Well, but then that makes it not self-contained, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Why are y'all looking at me like I'm crazy? Like,
The thing is, if it was like a Twilight Zone episode, you're like, oh, okay, this is it.
no, I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, because a Twilight Zone episode would never end like this. With just a random monster. Like a Twilight Zone episode is actually self-contained, and I'm not saying that this. I don't have a problem with waiting for the next piece. My issue is the end of the story is completely disconnected from everything from before it. And I'm just like, well, why? Like, I don't even understand. Like if they got stuck out in the snow for the blizzard, then I'd be like, I could see like, oh, okay, like I get it or whatever. And even if that at that point they maybe are talking about like, something is like trying to get on the bus or something like that. It's like, okay, that's not self-contained, but it's like, oh, we took a twist. But it's not even that. It's literally like a blizzard's coming in. They're still heading to the prison. And then we get teased about this monster. And I'm like, well, why do I care about that monster? That monster has nothing to do with anything. Like, the monster's literally like the last panel. And it has nothing to do with anything before that, as far as I know. Now, don't get me wrong. Later in the story, like by the time, I'm sure, Geoff Johns being who Geoff Johns is, by the time we get to issue or to part 11 or 12, we'll totally understand what the connection is.
I'm pretty sure it came with the blizzard.
Yeah, but so?
Now, did
Like,
you
that's
enjoy the story?
not the connection.
Did you not enjoy the story?
I can't say I didn't not enjoy the story. What I didn't
Well, you said
enjoy,
it came out of nowhere. It didn't. It came with the blizzard.
Joe.
No, but thematically it came out of nowhere.
Right, it's like the blizzard and a monster. There's no connection between a
Jay,
blizzard and a monster.
save that for Autism Awareness Month.
The story legitimately tells you that the storm is coming out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
And the monster came with the storm.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it.
They're telling you it's coming from out of nowhere. Like, I don't know how they could be more clear. Like, they literally say this is coming from out of nowhere. Like, meteorologists have no idea what's happening. It's coming out of nowhere. The storm comes. It brings the monster. It's all from out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I guess that's the disappointing part for me, where it's like, this last panel happens, and it's just like, that has nothing to do with what we were talking about before.
But it still doesn't make it not self. Like the main guy of the story, his tale could end at that point. I mean, he opened. It opens with him. It opens with him taking out his child's abuser, and then he goes to prison, and he gets to a point where he's forgiven by his ex-wife, I think is what I saw. And he's, they let him know, hey, no matter what happens, your son loves you. And he's accepted his fate at that point. He's done. Mm-hmm. This monster thing is like an extra teaser for the next chapter. But that's not to say that his story couldn't end at that.
Right.
You take that panel with the monster off, and his story's done.
Next chapter, hold on, Larry. If the next chapter is somebody else's story dealing with the blizzard and that monster, like, you'll be fine with it, or you won't, but we will. Like, we don't
next
care.
Month,
like
the monster,
right?
So it's the last page that make Lawrence hate it.
Well, it's not so much the last page.
Comicsology.
It's that's so sad. I'm sorry, friend. Like, I'm just saying that they're saying that the dude's getting transferred to the prison, then this blizzard rolls in. That by itself leads you to believe that, well, potentially he could make it to that prison, or he could not. Like the blizzard could prevent him from getting to that prison, and that, in my mind, is what makes it not self-contained, which is okay. My issue isn't that it's not self-contained. It literally says part 1 of 12, right? So
Yes.
I understand that's not supposed to be self-contained. My issue is, why is the last panel of the story completely disconnected from everything we've gotten to up until this point? Like, in my mind, you could have left that last panel to be like the cliffhanger for what's happening with this guy. But you didn't do that. Instead, you teased a monster in a blizzard, and I'm just like, I don't know what that has to do with what we've been talking about, and that's weird.
Where does that monster come from? You don't know if it's from the monster inside him that put him on the path to murder another person.
That's the whole point I'm making.
Right.
We don't know.
Well, but do you really want the entire 12-part story in one part?
No, I'm not asking for the whole story. I'm just saying, what, like, you're making it seem like, oh, okay, well, we could have left the story here and we'd be like, it'd be done. It's like, no, this would literally be like if a movie ended and the last scene had absolutely nothing to do with everything else you've seen in the movie beforehand, and somebody would be like, huh?
Like Quidditch.
Like Quidditch? What?
We're not going there. We're not going.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what that means.
What
Quidditch means?
I know what Quidditch is. I don't understand
the reference. But
yeah,
what I can't tell you, because Jay's connection's acting wonky, so it's not. We can't go into that rabbit hole. And plus, we got 12 other stories to get to. What I can't tell you is that I guarantee you, this is going to be Larry's favorite story come issue 12.
I mean, it could be, but I doubt it.
At this point, it's agree to disagree. 3 out of 4 of us love it. You hate it. And
I don't hate it.
I'll say this. One last thing. It's what is it, like 5 pages?
Yeah.
No, is it only 5 pages?
Yeah.
Wow.
7 is the max.
Okay, well, that's different.
It's like 5 or 6 pages. We've been talking about it for 20 minutes.
According to Larry, it's
8 pages.
7 because that last page doesn't count.
Yeah, the last page don't count.
Hilarious. No, I mean, listen, I was really into it, and then at the end I was like, what? Like, why? And especially from Geoff Johns, not like Geoff Johns doesn't know how to tell stories. So I'm sitting here did I miss something? So I go back, read it again, and it's like, no, I didn't miss anything. Geoff Johns just broke his story at the end for no good reason.
It's not broken. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's not broken. I don't think he broke it.
That is absolutely fair. For me, I was just like, wow, that's weird. But let's go to the next one.
I mean, I read a lot of these anthology stuff, and look, there's some in here where I'm like, this. It could have gone a little longer, And there's some there's some that are more self-contained than this, and we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about the next joint, Old Dog, The Drop, and that's Declan Shalvey and Clayton Cowles. What did you all think of this joint?
I thought this was the perfect, one of the most perfect, more perfect anthology entries in this one, because when it comes to self-contained, this one really hit that mark. I don't need to see anything else ever from this. But I
don't think you will.
Yeah, it just works. But I want to. So
yeah, no, exactly.
It'll kick off into another series, but I don't know. Declan Shalvey is busy now because people like Moon Knight.
Indeed. What'd you think of this one, Oz?
It was perfect. It the art spoke for itself. I saw the action. I didn't have to read all that nonsense. Any character of a few words that it can still do crazy things is okay in my book.
Yeah, no, absolute. And Yeah, I mean, like I would agree. Like I liked it a lot. I did think like this definitely felt self-contained to me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I would definitely like to know a little bit more about what's going on here or whatever. But it did what it was supposed to do, right? Like it kind of intrigues you, and I know that like this is it's based on a series that came out. I don't remember if it was like the end of last year or the beginning of this year, but it was relatively recent. So you can get more of this if you want to, um, from Old Dog. So but
But what
um,
story is it based on?
I think it's just I think it's literally just Declan Shalvey's creator-owned project called Old Dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And like I said, I can double check. Um, but yeah, like it's like and I haven't read it or anything like that, but uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Old Dog follows Jack Lynch, a once promising CIA operative. Uh, on the eve of retirement, looking back at a failed career, he's tasked with one final mission. So yeah, like that's out there. It looks like it came out. Oh, actually, mate, has it come out? No, it hasn't come out yet. Damn.
Okay. So we're gonna get more technically.
Yeah, it comes out June.
Okay.
It comes out June.
I love the dog motif. I mean, you know me and dogs. When they say men are dogs, it's because of me. Because I'm loyal. I'm your best friend. I'll sniff your crotch
And hump our leg.
and hump your leg.
There it is.
But yeah, and that's the end of this little thing. Like just him with the blood, and he's like Jack Lynch makes a mess and gets to walk away clean, and then that blood's just splattering across the
Right.
It was fucking perfect.
Yeah. No,
And that's
absolutely.
some of the action scenes right here. Like it was very like the art in this was really like clean but visceral. The action scenes like there was I didn't have it here, but there's one where they throw a knife at his leg, and it's just like they did the cartoony thing where the impact, like you can kind of see it here, the impact of the knife on the arm, but there's a page that does it better on his leg, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cartoony, and it just adds like a little bit of kineticness to that scene. Like I'm glad I'm gonna be getting more of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay, what did you think of Old Dog the Drop?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
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 Like not too much to it, but fun.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. So yeah. Okay. So I guess that goes for what it is there. Like so the next story is a Gospel for a New Century. That's by Wyatt Kennedy and Luana Vecchio. Vecchio. If I gutted that, I apologize. Please forgive. Please forgive. So, what did you all think about this story? Jay, you want to talk about this one, or start us off talking about this one?
Uh, Basically a boy meets girl story. Like
Mm-hmm.
he thinks she's a little, like there are rumors that she's a little weird, but he's totally into it. He
Yeah.
gets nosebleeds when he's around her, and she's into that. And they just kind of hang out, and she asks him, like, "Would you help me bury your body?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not?" And so they go out on a date, and they do the typical date stuff: karaoke, decapitation, And they pretty much just have a good time.
There it is. There it is. It's so funny because I will say, like, when I was looking at these opening, this opening like panels, and like he got the nosebleed, and she kissed him and messed around and was like, pulls away, and she has like the blood on her mouth and stuff, and she's like, "That's trust." I was like, the literally the first thought that came to my mind was like, that's a woman after Moses Magnum's heart right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, I could totally see Moses in that scenario, but he wouldn't have the nosebleed. It would be like, I don't know, maybe he was in a fight or something.
He would have the blood all over his mouth though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, right. Like, yeah. Like, maybe he was in a fight and he has, like, his nose is bloody from the fight or something. And then the chick comes and kisses him and be like, that's trust. And he'd be like, that's what I knew, she was the one.
And that was a weird story for me in that sense. Because it's like, man, I know I've been there. Where it's like, I'm going to end up dead here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I didn't. Clearly, but maybe a little part of me inside did, but at the end of it. But yeah, and then it turns out that she's a demon.
Yeah.
And, so this whole vibe of this book was like that. Like I'm like, oh, it's a little close to home, but I've grown past that, so it's not like a trauma thing anymore.
Right.
But it is definitely like it gave me the manga vibes. Like this is something I would read from Japan. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. The art's not that, and the art looks good. If the only weird thing was the dude, like I thought it was two girls at the beginning. Yeah. So I don't know if the art just made him look a little more soft, but I think that's part of the effect. Like it's not the type of dude that would get that girl. That's why he's all in. And again, I've been there, so it makes sense that it's like that. But yeah, that's another good one. I can't wait to read more of it. I don't see it going too far. Like it's one of those where like the whole comic takes place over a week, and then they break up or something, and he goes nuts. Then that's a whole other series. The Fantastic Beasts.
Hilarious. What did you think, Oz?
At first, it felt like it was just going slow. So they're like, well, I mean, obviously she's crazy because that blood scene happens pretty early. But then it's like, I mean, yeah, who's gonna say no to burying a dead body? I mean, it's dead, right? What else are you gonna do? And then you get to the point where you find out who she really is. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, now it's getting interesting. Let's go. And then it ends.
I'm mad that she's still pretty fly as a demon.
She was hotter.
I was like, oh. Like, yeah. I do like, I don't want to mispronounce Luana's last name again, which, for all I know, I might be mispronouncing her first name, so God forgive me. But her art is fantastic. I really like the.
It looks like she was tracing Wonder Girl, but I'll let it go. That's between her and Joel Jones.
What are you talking about? Like the art styles aren't even similar.
Dude, Homegirl looks just like fucking Wonder Girl.
Listen, that's like, don't get me wrong. If you want to be like, okay, like she's brown and she has a mole on her face, I'll give you that. But the art styles are completely different. Like this is like,
all right, Lawrence, I'm gonna stop you right there. It was a Joel Jones Traces joke, and obviously it went too far. Let's move on.
Damn it, Oz with your bad humor. I was like, Oz must be serious because that's not even funny. No, I'm sorry. Like, oh, jeez. But yeah. Like, the art I felt was Go ahead.
Go ahead, Larry. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was like appropriate for the tone of the story.
So I got the
And-
pronunciation.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
No. I'm like,
Uh,
you're gonna have to say it, Jay.
Vecchio.
No,
Vecchio?
oh
Vecchio.
yeah, Italian.
Is Luana Vecchio? So am I saying Luana? Right?
Vecchio.
Is her first name Luana?
He didn't get that
Yeah.
pronunciation.
I didn't get that
Okay.
one pronounced, but
Oh,
Vecchio. It means old.
Vecchio. It means what?
Old.
Oh.
Okay, so she's stealing from Joel Jones and Mirka. Got it.
Because she's Italian?
That demon pick didn't have a little bit of a sweet paprika vibe.
I'm not gonna say it didn't, but
No.
the story is the thing, the
I
difference.
know. I'm just
No. I could totally see that more so. I could totally see that more so.
That would have been a joke that hit harder when you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't hit hard. It's slow and steady.
Okay. There it
You
is.
show your divorce.
Although,
Pulsating.
next
Okay.
story.
Vecchio.
Title preview.
Yes, Kaya, which is one of 4. Story art designed by Wes Craig, colors by Jason Wordy. Moses, how'd you feel about Kaya?
I love the art. The story itself, like I it's one of 4, so I can't wait to see the rest. They give you a lot of exposition in like the caption boxes,
Mm-hmm.
so that takes care of like the brevity of it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the action goes, not a lot happens, just one little moment, but you do get enough in dialogue and caption boxes to fill in those blanks. For that little moment in time they choose to show you. I don't know how they could do a complete story in 4 parts with that amount of action,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm interested to see. Like Wes Craig, I mean, he's the dude that did the art for Deadly Class,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that, like
Yeah.
the way he did that. And here he's bringing that same thing with his own designs and his
Yeah.
own creation, so it's a little less realistic. And
Yeah.
more fantasy, and
Yeah.
his style for fantasy is not something I thought I would want until I saw this. So,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed it more if this was like a complete story for an anthology. I think it left me wanting more, which is kind of what they want. But
Right.
it's like, give me a full issue of this, and I'll sign up for the Diamond Previews like online thing to get a pull list for it. I don't want to do, but I would do it for something like this if I know I'm gonna get 12 issues a year, of
Right.
full issue stories.
Well, I mean, it is a preview, so
Preview, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
so,
that makes it seem as if Kaya's coming, right?
yeah, but we'll see
Only
when.
4
And
pages.
it
I
kind
think
of
it's the second shortest story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it does have that, like, Larry. I don't know if you remember the Dark Horse presents the 13. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of has that vibe where it's
Yeah.
like but that one did a little better job in the brevity. I don't know if it was 4 pages, but it does. It's like for me in the Dark Horse presents installments was too short. I wanted more of,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the kind of vibe I get here. So, but I do enjoy it, and that's part of why I'm mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I hear that. What did you all think of Kaya? How about you, Jay?
Oh, I loved it. It's great. Like, I love the art and the fantasy. It
Mhm.
kind of gets down to business, but it's like a kind of classic story, like the Crown Prince and the outcast
Mm-hmm.
on the road, trapping scorpions, trying to survive.
Same old tale.
Yeah, like
Tale is old
it
as time.
feels really familiar, and it looks good, and yeah, the characters seem pretty cool.
I love the character design too. Like, it's simplistic but complex. Like, I can't even, like, it just looks
Mm-hmm.
it looks good. The color theory and it, the way they do it all works.
Mm-hmm.
It works too well for an anthology. Just give me the full fucking book.
Oz, how about you, man? What you think?
It looks fine. Meh. Move on.
Wow. Listen, here's the thing. I don't know, like, because he was very succinct, but I might halfway agree with Oz in the sense that I liked the story. I was not a fan of this style for Wes Craig, and it's like I'm familiar, or at least I thought I was, based on what I saw, what he does with Deadly Class, and I like that art a lot more so than this. The characters and everything else is cool, like I'm not, and I would definitely read a book with this art style. Like I would read this, or I would read this book with this art style. I guess I was a little bit more. I feel like this is a slightly different kind of thing going on than what I'm used to based on Deadly Class, and I would have preferred that art style with this story. So, but I would read the book. I'd give it a shot, no question, because the story was interesting. So, moving on. Stupid Fresh Mess from Scotty Young.
Oh, that was Scotty Young? Okay.
Yeah.
How
did
did
recognize him?
I recognize the art style, but it didn't have like a title like everything else did. Or if it did, I missed it because
Is this the one with the Matrix?
No.
No, this is the one with the guy at the drawing board, and he gets the call from Eric Stevenson.
So that actually was a story? I thought that was just like a...
It's Scotty Young's contribution to Image's 30th anniversary. So
it's like that big. It's less than a page.
I mean, listen,
It's a Garfield cartoon.
But that's what he does. So
he's a
cartoonist.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then you know what? He did what he does.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about it, Oz?
He did what he does.
He did what he does. Which, look, it sounds like at the end of that's supposed to be, and that ain't a damn thing. Damn, Oz is like, stick to covers.
Look,
well, that's kind of the joke with it, because he's so busy doing these variant covers that he doesn't do his own thing, even though he does have his own book out, and I think he has 2 books out. So,
does he have 2? What's Fairyland and what's the other one?
I forget.
No, Fairyland.
I'm sorry.
That's been over for a while.
Oh, so what 2 books does he have out then?
So then it's one, but it's a different one. I forget what it's called.
I know he's working for Marvel or DC, one of the two. And
I don't know that Scotty Young is doing a Marvel book. I feel like I would know what that is.
And it's kind of a shame, just because I know he doesn't do commissions when he's employed.
Which he's always employed.
Well, when he works for major labels, he stops doing commissions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a shame, but he's got his boundaries. I respect them.
So what I'm hearing is we need to get Scotty Young fired. Like, we need to resurface some of his old tweets or something, and then that way all he can do is have commission. Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, I hear you. I'll skim them with you if you like.
No.
So that we can get like $400 sketch covers from Scotty Young.
Jay, if you want a $400 sketch cover from Scotty Young, we'll get you. You just tell us when he's available. Yeah, this is it right here. Stupid Fresh Mess. And then I guess it does have the signature.
And that's how he draws himself. Like,
yeah.
He does a couple of stories like these in I Hate Fairyland, and and he depicts himself this way.
Okay.
He was also in another anniversary. No, that was a different thing. Sorry. But yeah, that's how he depicts himself.
But yeah, I liked it. It wasn't, what I'm here for, but
yeah, I was disappointed.
It's okay. It works.
I like Scotty Young, and I think he's funny.
No, he's definitely funny.
I'll be honest. It's it's almost the same feeling as like some of the other works that I've seen him do. When he's doing like his like real life stuff, like stuff based on his life. So I was prepared. Like this didn't catch me off guard or anything, and I was able to completely get into it.
The best thing about this story is that I feel like that's what actually happened.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. That's 100% what happened, and that's what makes it disappointing. It's like, damn it, Scotty Young, you could have, if you had known what was going to happen, or if you had paid attention, we might have gotten like at least a comic pan. Like I'm just saying, like
But I love how he leans into it.
It is hilarious. That is hilarious how he leans into it. I will agree with you on that.
And you have the guy on the phone. He's like, "That sounds riveting."
Which is exactly what might have happened. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but I would have much preferred like the original Image guys, like the original Image characters, or the original Image like founders, like the actual like artists. Something.
Is he still doing Strange Academy?
Scotty Young?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He did the covers, but not like
not the book.
No, he did the book.
I thought Strange Academy was Bachalo.
It was.
No,
but
Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. Or they're the ones that started it.
Started it.
But when you say but Scotty Young doesn't do the interior of the book, right? Of Strange Academy? I don't think so.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do the interior. Bachalo did the first run.
He did the 2020 run.
Look, you're reading a credit, which means it's probably the covers.
No, I'm not reading a credit.
What are you reading?
Just show us the art. Maybe that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because the art, like, I don't remember Scotty Young. Like, I read the beginning of Strange Academy, and I still have, like, some of the later issues, but I don't remember him doing the interior art for Strange Academy.
Let me pull. Well,
you could. Yeah, you take
I
a look.
have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, you're reading it. You're reading a credit.
Don't be Tiger Claw, Joe. Don't be Tiger Claw.
And I'm looking at the cover of Strange Academy #1,
and
it says Scotty Young.
He might have done the cover.
I mean,
you mean
you don't get a credit for that? Like, you don't get above Humberto Ramos for just doing the cover.
Oh, maybe he did some designs or something. I don't know. What's it say on the inside of the book?
Let me share this with you real quick.
It says Young or it says Scotty Young?
Scotty Young. Scotty Young, Humberto Ramos, Edgar Delgado.
Are you sure you're not writing?
Well, he was writing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said
okay.
You said what?
I never said he drew it. I said he worked on it. Is he still working on it? I didn't say what capacity.
Oh. Wait, so when Scotty Young is writing a book at Marvel, he won't do commissions?
Right.
Jay, for further information, if a dude that's known for drawing isn't drawing, let us know he's writing.
It's like, okay.
Okay, so
that would have saved us 10 minutes on a one-page strip. Like, we're describing a one-page strip.
Full disclosure, I didn't read Strange Academy.
Oh, okay.
I just remember when it came up on when he got the job on Twitter, he said he's not doing commissions anymore. because he doesn't do them when he's working for one of the big two.
Okay.
420, y'all.
That's some 40 shit.
Plus, I told you he was above Humberto, so.
Yeah, at 10 minutes into it.
Well, it took me that long to get the cover. Like, you should know this more than me because you like Strange.
Right, and I actually read Strange Academy. I didn't even look to see who wrote it. I just enjoyed it and and fucking liked the art.
Yeah, does he still write that book?
It's why it got canceled. I don't know if it got canceled. It might have like reached its end.
I think it's still going on, but it might have stopped because of Death of Doctor Strange. Maybe. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
it'll be
the girl that's in teaching.
She, like, you know, you read the book. That, like, it gets mentioned that she should be doing that, but we'll see if it actually happens or not.
Yeah,
I forgot a lot of the details. I just remember the syndicate.
Yeah, no.
Everyone.
Wong mentions that she needs to be taking up duties at a Strange Academy, but you know.
Okay, what's our next story?
Hopeless, Mirka Andolfo.
Oh, yeah.
She's Mirka Andolfo's writer and artist, colorist, Chiara DeFranco.
Did Jay just break up with Mirka?
No, I love this book. I love the story so much. Despite one of the pages confusing me, and I'm not sure what happened, but I love it anyway. Like, I love the story so much.
I'm like, how could you all even think that Jay would not like this?
It's just the sound that he made.
Oh,
it sounded to me like it was like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh okay, all right.
Yeah, could go either way.
The more and more I read Mirka Andolfo's stuff, I feel like her and Jay might be soulmates.
Did she draw this too?
Yeah.
So she wrote and drew it.
Yes.
And this one feels like a full comic, even though it's like 6 pages.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, and I feel like this is part of the reason why I went so hard on Geoff Johns, because like y'all can't mess around and be like, oh, it feels totally self-contained, and then you have this here where it's like
the thing is, Italian comics, French comics, even British comics, like that anthology format is like the way to go for them. That's what they do, you know,
right?
They were raised, like she was raised on those type of comics, like 2000 AD shit, you know.
Are you trying to convince me Geoff Johns doesn't know how to write an anthology?
Not in Italian.
Yeah. No, well, I'm just saying it's a format that he's not like, he didn't learn from, you know? He didn't learn his writing from that. He wrote it from the big two. Yeah.
I mean, okay, listen, okay. Look, if we want to make excuses for Geoff Johns, we can do that.
Hey, look, I'm definitely not a Geoff Johns apologist. Like, not like you and Bendis or every Marvel or Disney person. Like, have you watched have you watched Encanto yet?
I did watch Encanto.
Okay. So is it still brilliant?
No, Encanto is good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. And like when he didn't watch it, he's like, it's amazing.
I don't have my old boy button.
I had. Where is it here? Yeah.
It's like I love how we go mess around and try to pretend like you defending Geoff Johns is actually me making like me trying to mess around and be an apologist for Disney. But that's okay. Let's go.
No, I'm just using it. I'm
back to Hopeless.
I'm not doing it the same way that you do it.
Or are you? Hopeless.
Nah.
Mirka Andolfo. Let's talk about this book. So, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Basically, we've got the serial killer who's attacking this room full of girls, and he's getting mad because they're not screaming and running enough. And then it turns out to be a simulation, and she complains to the guy running it that she needs more, like she needs it to be more real. And so she gets this experimental tech, and she's trying it again, and the ghosts of her parents show up, and they're trying to stop her.
I mean, yeah, all that does happen. Like it's a wild story, man. And it's like it starts off dark and just gets darker and darker and darker. And it's
And it's called Hopeless.
right. And it's violent and it's wild. Yeah.
Two things.
Yeah.
First of all, one of the last page you showed, the black and white one, is a lot of text. But I gotta say, I read all of it. The talented and lovely Mirka Andolfo just knows what she's doing, and the fact that she wrote and drew it, kind of like, and it's a decent amount, right? I don't know how many pages. It felt like it went on. In fact, the second part is I like the fact
8
that
pages.
when the killer is in, I'll call it the Matrix for lack of a better word, it's beautifully colored, and then real world stuff is black and white, and it goes on for so long that I honestly, when it first does that switch, I thought I was starting another story, and then I start reading it, and it's like, oh wait, these are the same characters, and it's just, this one was good all the way around.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. What do you think, Mo?
It's great. It's one of the, I think, because what I've been reading from her has all been, slice of lifey, erotic-y comedy. You know what I mean? And it's a different tone, and I really like it. Almost like Mercy. Only I think I like this better. Like even the design, like of the killer, of what Cleaver. Like even the name Cleaver, like how she says, like, the police used to cower at my name, like that. Just that, when the whole vibe that it's an old serial killer that can't kill anymore and has to do it virtually now to get the jollies off, and had a sense of greatness, like that she deserves that greatness now, like that. Just that panel is a masterpiece. Tells you a full story.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
And what I said about, like, I read every word of it. The color change, it add tone, man. This is cinematic comic making. The art really evokes an emotion and a focal point and all that. Like it does everything. I forget what they call it, but everything it's in its place.
Right. No, it feels like no word wasted, no panel, like. Everything feels like it's there for a reason. And like when you mentioned, Mo, that, this is kind of the style that she grew up reading or whatever, like, or might have been her introduction to comics. It definitely shows. Like, it feels like, I'm like, maybe this is the format that we should be getting Mirka in, because, I don't want to wait a whole month for the rest of this story or for the next part of this story, but if we could do like this, like bi-weekly, that would be super cool. If that would make her, if she would feel good about that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, judging by the work that we've read of hers in the past, I think, if it's a monthly series, like she tackles it the same way. She goes with the vibe. Okay, it's 22 pages instead of 8. Okay, good. Like she'll make sure to hit those points at the mark proportionately for the amount of pages she's working on.
Right.
A good example of that is that Lobo Superman thing, but that there's editorial there too and shit. Here it's just her and the colors. Yeah.
Right. The next story, like Red Stitches in Blood, from Erica Henderson and Brendan Fletcher. What y'all think of this, Mo? What'd you think of this story?
This is one that like was beautifully drawn, and I wanted to read, and I just skipped. It had too many words, and I didn't want to skip it, but I'm like, man, this is just doesn't feel like this is the little slump in this anthology, And
The messed up part is like this is one of the shorter stories too.
right, it just felt really long, and I'm like, okay, this is one thing I would want to read the whole thing in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I got the vibe that okay, we're getting more of these stories in the future, but here in I'll wait. I'll read it when I get to read the rest of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I zoned out on that one. The
That's
art
fair.
in it is really good, and even like, yeah, the actual splash page where the title is, I'll share it right now. But the
Yeah.
color, it's all good, but it just didn't. From the dialogue at the first page, it didn't suck me in.
Yeah, you need to put it up because I'm looking at my notes and I wrote fur for some reason.
Yeah.
Fur?
Is there fur?
Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
fur.
at the end.
Yeah.
There's a fur.
Like, are you sure that like this is the one with the guy tied up to the bed, Mo, when it starts? Like,
Yeah. It feels
okay.
like even the people's names they're talking about like French people and shit. Like, all right, this is one of those movies I'm not trying to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This felt like it was trying to be a noir story that just didn't really
Right. And
work.
and it could work, but it's like it automatically felt like something a little more close all these windows because I can't even see the one I want to share. It just felt like it's one of those things that's super generic and derivative from the way it starts. And I could be wrong. I just didn't even give it that chance. Yeah. And
I mean, like
I could eat my by the second part. I could eat my words, but because of how it felt and what I know of this type of genre, I'm like, I want to read this in its entirety. I don't want to read it in an anthology segmented form.
Yeah.
I feel like the last panel really kind of hooks, or I know for me at least, it really hooked me in. Like, I want to know how.
Rat?
What?
The two rats.
I think they're foxes.
Yeah, I think they're foxes
okay.
too.
Yeah, they're foxes.
Oh, that's why I wrote furs. Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
Like, I just want to know how, like, logistically, what happened.
They came to life and killed that person.
See,
I know that's the assumption, or that's my assumption, but she says she wouldn't believe it, so she said they wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, because if you
So
told
why did
somebody,
they go back to sleep? Like, I think there's a lot here. There's a little bit here.
I feel like that final panel had the opposite reaction for me that it did for Jay, where I was just kind of like, the furs, huh? Okay. I was like, okay, because I don't I don't know, like.
So was I wrong in my like prejudice?
But you don't really like supernatural mysteries, right?
No,
I love
I wouldn't say.
supernatural mysteries.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Well, it's a mare.
Oh, sorry.
No, I will
It
say
might be
that. No,
scary.
I
Like,
think no, it's not. This is not
fox
scary.
furs, two-headed fox furs killing people. Like,
Come on, man.
I
No.
can see you getting scared of that.
I'm not worried
And
about
not wanting to keep reading.
Well, if they do it at night, he'll be scared while he's taking out the trash. Like,
I feel like this is more about like the story itself. Like, I think you're wrong, Mo, in the sense that if you had read this, you probably would have enjoyed it. However, when like the ending may not have necessarily been satisfying for you. And I know for me, I was kind of like, I don't know, like that's not a hook for me that I'm like, oh, it was my fur. It wasn't me, it was my fur. I'm like, okay. Well, we'll see what happens, I guess. But
So
yeah.
I
No, go
had
ahead.
one issue with the art,
Okay.
and if you know me, you know what that was.
What is it?
You can't see your nipples that clearly in the beginning.
I actually
It's like
love
they're
that.
there, but they're not distinct. Like they're not as clear as I would like them to be. And I get that it's a stylistic choice, but still a little disappointing.
I don't know, man. I guess, you always talk about how, they're not naked. And now you get naked. And you're like, well, they're not naked enough. It's not nipple
Actually,
enough.
I really like the nipples. Like it's the style of the art. Like I enjoyed that, but I'm like, the story is not gonna be something I'm gonna be really into. I'll put up the nipple right now.
When we put up the nipple,
That's what this all hinges upon.
It's stylized. You can't get demonetized for this because it's not really there. It's implied.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
I know
Man.
Lawrence doesn't care because he hates nudity.
Yeah,
I have no problem with nudity. I'm just like,
I feel like you do.
look, you can't even see the nipples. We're covering them.
yeah.
it's censorship at its finest.
Jay is censoring the nipple because that's how Jay moves. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't need those nipples.
You don't
Yeah,
need any
it
nipples.
doesn't
You get
add or
nudity.
take away from the story at all. Like that
It
whole panda
doesn't.
could have been in there. Yeah.
Listen, that's my whole point about most of the nudity in
Look,
comics.
comic books aren't just about words; they're about
No,
art.
nobody.
And
Listen,
nipples are art.
Right.
I'm
and
not
they gave
saying
you
I don't want to
artful
see them.
nipples. They gave you artful nipples.
They did, and Jay's like, nah,
Like
not like
if
that.
your complaint is that they're too artful.
I want nipples,
Vecchio
but not
gave
like
me
that.
artful nipples.
Like he wants to see like the
this
salami
couldn't give
titty.
anything.
Look, Jay's like, where's the areola?
Yeah. He wants to see the little
Actually, I don't need areolas.
you want to see the natural braille that they
They're
have.
nice.
Like
Like areolas are nice, but I don't need them.
So you just need the eraser tip, not the. Okay.
Yeah, like unfortunately,
You had the
with a lot
eraser
of
tip
manga,
right
that's
there.
all you get, and I'm fine with that.
It doesn't sound like you are.
I mean, I would love
like,
more
I'm gonna-
areola in manga.
I'm glad Heck was listening.
But let's move on. I think we all like. Well, no, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's interesting enough for me to like keep going back. I want to find out what the first did and how they did it.
Yeah, and like that joint's supposed to be 12 parts too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, we'll see.
12 parts to figure out they came to life and mauled them, or
I
not
don't
mauled
know.
them, or she
I
was
don't know.
lying about it, or it was like technically not lying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good.
The next story is a Shift by Kyle Higgins, Daniel DiNiculio, Walter Biamonte, Katie Rinaldi, and Becca Carey. And this is the Radiant Black story.
Yes.
Or the origin of the villain Shift or whatever. So
Correct.
yeah, so Oz, what you think of this one?
This was the longest of all of them, right? Like it felt like I read a book and a half. It just kept going on and on.
No, 8 pages.
So that makes it about the same size as many of them. Yeah, there are other 8 pages in here.
So 8 pages, and it felt like 20. Is my review.
And you mean
So
that in
you're
a good
saying
way
it's really
or a
packed
bad
with
way?
information and girth, like it feels like a meal.
No, it's too much or not exciting. I don't know. It's just I like the art style because it kind of it has that anime style. No complaints with art. It's just so many like you. It's like a movie where you feel like they could have cut out a good half hour of this movie and still been good. There's just stuff that I feel like it just
Like the
goes on.
Batman.
Yes, yeah. I enjoyed the Batman. I agree that you could cut out about a half hour from it.
Okay.
But the art style is what makes this because it is good. It is I don't know, just anime is the best way I can describe it, I guess.
It's kinetic.
Sure.
What about you, Mo? How'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. It's one of these image books that I've been wanting to check out, and now I'm forced to. So
Now I'm forced to.
yeah, so I'm gonna go back and read those comics that Larry carries around across the country.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I like Radiant Black has touched every state. Yeah. What about you, Jay? How do you like it?
I liked it a lot. Like I liked the art a lot. The story, it was cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's here to do a job, and he's like, instead of doing the job, we could just do our own thing, like set out on our own, make our own empire. And it's got a really cool flow to it, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the dialogue was kind of quirky but fun. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not quirky in the bad way, like in the cringe way. But
Yeah.
it was like pretty fun.
No, I will say that I liked the story too. Actually, my biggest issue was the art. Not because I don't like anime style, but I felt like I didn't like the faces. Like the faces in different, like from panel to panel, definitely like they're lacking something. Like the eyes get wonky sometimes, and the angles are weird. If everybody's in costume, it's fine. Like when you get to the end, everybody like it. It's a very like I think it is a kinetic kind of comic book style, like or comic book friendly, superhero friendly kind of style. But yeah, that was the down part for me. But otherwise, I like the story itself. I did like, and I did think that like the pacing was interesting, and there's a lot of dialogue, but I liked it. I did like the dialogue. So, and I liked I felt like the interactions told me a lot about each of the characters that we were being introduced to. So, I just wish their faces looked less weird. So, next is Gehenna. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah, Gehenna. It's Patrick Kindlow and Maurizio Rosenwig. I said that wrong. Rosenwig. Sorry.
This one is just
Rosenzweig.
weird.
Okay. This one's what?
It's just weird. Like the art in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It's a little off to me, but the stylistic choice of for the first half of the book, our story, they don't show this girl's face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because it's really noticeable that you can't see her face.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just show her face like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, why did we just go through this?
Yeah.
And that's legit the only problem I had with this book.
And I think it's not even like.
I mean, the art is still a little off.
Yeah, but I think it's the problem you have with the book is a problem that it wasn't even like a choice that they did. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't
they were
intentional.
I don't think they were even thinking about not showing her face for half of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was just the angles.
And only
But
because
I agree with Joe, though.
I do read
No,
a lot
but
of these, like,
it's not just the angles. Like the next page from where you're at, the top part of her head is obscured by the line. Like just literally just move up the camera up.
Yeah.
Like about 2 inches, and there's her face. But they just show you this shot of half a face, and then the next shot, it cuts her head off. Like, it's weird. The framing is really weird. And then the next shot, her hair is covering half her face.
Yeah.
And then the next shot, her hair is covering more than half her face. And then the hair is covering her whole face. Like, if it's not intentional, it's just bizarre as fuck. It's like they had a time limit and they didn't know how to draw faces. They had to keep working on the book.
They saw the story before it in Shift, and they're like, we're not going down that road. They're like, we're gonna make sure our faces look fine.
It's legit for over half of the book. Over the first half of the book, you don't see her face, and then with no pop, no circumstance.
Yeah.
You just now you see her face. It's like, why were we doing? Why was this happening?
I think it's more of it's like a cinematography effect, like where you use a handheld jittery camera with a weird frame rate for fight scenes. And that's kind of like the effect that it gives here. You know, and now granted,
it
like
makes it look like if it's cinematography, then that's not her. She's not the one running up the stairs,
right?
And
it's a
moving her head.
Yeah.
And that's not comics. Like,
it's not.
Yeah. Comics don't do
if
that.
they're trying to give you that feel of a movie, then it can work. I didn't have the issue you had with it, Jay. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I can accept that you're telling me that.
Moses is a friggin' Maurizio apologist.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Honestly, I feel like this chick in general is just not drawn great.
Yeah, it's look.
She's like super curvy.
Yeah,
and everything else isn't.
Yeah, this is like if you read comics like Druna or what's the other one? Shit, I have it right. Eva. These are these French and European comics. Like I feel like this one came out in an anthology maybe 15, 20 years ago, and an Image has it now. Like they bought the rights. Druna, Druna. But be careful because there's a porn star named Druna. So you might get some questionable like Google results. But there's a comic called Druna, and it was a heavy metal like standard back when I was a kid with of 8 years old with a raging hard on. But yeah. And
she gets topless.
Yeah. No, it's an erotic comic, but it's also science fiction, and it's like hard science fiction too. Like I had to get my physics dictionary when I read it. 8 years old with a raging hard on. But
here's my issue.
Yeah.
With you feeling like, because I pulled up a random page.
Yeah.
It's more defined.
Page
of Druna.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But the next.
Can you share it?
See, I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Let me stop sharing this.
And apologies to any sensitive nipple haters out there.
I only want artistic nipples. Watch out for areola.
I only want whatever nipples YouTube allows us.
They don't care. We don't have enough subscribers to get monetized.
Now, here's the thing. In the first panel, you can see her face. It's from the side, but you still get face. And then the second panel is no face.
We get
last
face.
couple panels are no face, but it's not the whole page. Again, this page, random Druna page, no face here, but you get a little. But then you have her face. Like it. If this is what they were trying to imitate, they did it poorly.
What book is that? That looks good.
It's Druna issue 4, I think.
That's some good art. We should review that one.
Well, that's the guy. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Again,
the guy that drew that is the guy that got in trouble for drawing Spider Woman in that sexy pose.
So that's the same guy.
I think that's the same guy. Yeah, because I think he's the creator of Druna. But I'm mistaken. I could be mistaken. I don't.
Yeah, maybe. I'll double check.
I haven't. Milo Manara, I think, is the dude. That's the dude's name that did Spider Woman, and I think he was the Druna artist, if not the creator.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that Druna is stylized,
right?
Like that, I get. This, I forgot what it's called already, but it's not that. Like it's just bad. Like, yeah, if that's what they were going for, they did not succeed. At least in my opinion. If you're cool with it, like,
no, I'm cool with it, but I can see, you fixating on it. It was a little, well, I guess because I'm okay with it, I find it a little odd, but it's not odd. It's a critique. Yeah, it's something you would. It's actually a legitimate thing you would change if you were to make this book and edit this book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a fair critique. I don't agree with you, but I'll respect it for once. The nipples, though, I'm mad at you for still.
I gotta learn Braille.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking about this book? Are we in general?
Wait. No. We got one more story.
One more story.
Yeah, we got that was technically a story.
I don't count that.
Dean Haspel's. Wait.
I don't count that because it happens after the next image. On image.
No, and I hear that, but it's still technically credited Dean Haspel's Billy Dogma.
Not only that, I've been talking about Dean Haspel for the last 16 months.
Right. And
they're like, he's on an image anthology.
Right. And man, how disappointed were you, Mo?
Specifically speaking about
I am not thoroughly disappointed, but I am a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting one page from a full book.
Yeah.
It's not even.
And this is part 1 of 12.
Right, and that's how it starts. So I don't know, but I will never here on Fantastic Forum. I would never give Dean Haspel less than a 4 on anything he does.
Listen, and that's the thing. We know Dean Haspel obviously, but I was a little shocked. I was like, is this all we're gonna get? And 1 of 12? Are the other 12 parts gonna be 1 page?
His book was the only Ultimate Marvel I ever read.
I believe that.
Wait, real quick. Druna was by Paolo Eleuterio Serpieri.
And who else? That's it?
That's all it says on this Wikipedia article.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was different. I'm sure, because I know Mobius drew her.
That was the creator.
Yeah. So
and she first appeared in Morbus Gravis, 1985.
Yeah. 1985. That's when I heard her. I was 3 years old with a raging heart on.
Okay. I will say this. After one of the final pages of this joint, they talk about Image Classics, and that is the page that actually does say a book for every reader, and it lists a whole bunch of titles that, you know, obviously Image is saying like, hey, these are some of our classic stuff, and it's an amazing page. Like the titles there is there's some really good books there, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I mean, we all know that Image Comics is Image, but when you look at like this list of books, you're like, I know for me, I was kind of like, man, that is some really good stuff. And it's like some of it is recent stuff, and some of it is like stuff from the past.
But we didn't get to ask Oz what he thought about the Billy Dogma story.
Oh, I'm sorry, Oz. You want to talk about Dean Haspel's Billy Dogma?
Is that that last page?
Huh?
Is that last page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
You commented on it.
I thought a dude was getting his ass kicked and he made a heart. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. He's his lover is trying to kill him.
It's like a page.
Hurting him, yeah. But
yeah. He got knocked through the wall and it made the shape of a heart.
Yeah. And then
that's what happened. But
you get a voiceover. Okay. There's a voiceover of what they're telling him as they're beating the shit out of him. Right, Larry?
I mean, maybe. Look, it could be a voiceover, like, or it could be the actual person saying it. Like, who knows? There's no context.
I think you're gonna have to wait for issue 2.
Next month on Billy Dogma.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I've been wanting, because he's been doing a lot of webcomics, and I've been kind of following those, and it's just like I'm excited that I can go into the comic shop and buy a Dean Haspel.
Listen, I will tell you this. Because I was so confused, I was just like, what is this? And I did find out that he did have did do a Billy Dogma comic, which I did not know.
Yeah, I think it's starting halfway through the journey.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but like that book is like literally from 1997.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, I don't know if there are any Billy Dogma fans still out there, but if they are, man, look, God bless y'all for that long ass wait. I thought I had a problem because it took so long for the last issue of Planetary to come out. But if y'all been waiting since like 1997 for more Billy Dogma, well, God bless y'all, because 1997, that's like there are babies that weren't born that are now adults.
There's people that read comics that consider comics a phase from 1997.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. So I'm just like, hey, so good for y'all, but yeah, I definitely like, okay, they're gonna have one of these pages or some more Billy Dogma in each issue of this. It's like, I don't know that I need to read it, but who knows? Maybe by the time I get to 12, I'm like, damn, that Billy Dogma. Who knows?
So when Disney buys the rights and makes a movie, you'll love it.
I don't know about that. Image Classics. There's some really classic stuff here. Like I was just like Crossover, which is like happening right now, is on there, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know if you all have read any additional Crossover. I know we read like the first issue, but dude, like Crossover is awesome, and I really do believe each one of you here would really be enjoying Crossover. East of West is an amazing book.
Yeah.
Decorum is on here too, which is out now. Is an amazing book. Both of those are Hickman. And then Bitch Planet, which we reviewed, they mentioned on here, and they got, of course, Saga, which we all know Saga is Saga, man. It's amazing stuff. But just like Invincible and The Walking Dead and Spawn and Savage Dragon and Battle Chasers. It's on the list.
What the fuck for? Like, you talk about look. There's more complete stories in this anthology than Battle Chasers. Fucking motherfucker.
Battle Chasers. They got sex criminals in the Department of Truth, which you know, I haven't. I mean, I haven't read Sex Criminals recently, but I'm sure Sex Criminals is probably just as good as it was when we were reading it back in the day.
No, I think it stopped a few years back, right? Like I don't think
so. I think at least I think some of it, if it didn't take a extended hiatus and they started a new thing of it relatively recently, I believe.
Zdarsky went big time.
Yeah, but you know, and then friggin' Department of Truth, like that's a trippy ass book. That's really amazing.
Like you can't read that on 420.
No, you should not. You should not. And then, I mean, there are other books on here that I haven't even read that I'm like, man, you know, like I'm sure that's all. Look, Sweet Paprika's on there, which, you know, I just mentioned because we always talk about Mirka or whatnot. Ice Cream Man is a book where I haven't read, but I know a lot of people have told me it's a really good book that, you know.
We've read it for the show.
Yeah.
I don't think I read it. Did I read it?
Were you too scared?
I know I might have just missed the episode.
It might have been. It was during quarantine when you were really busy.
Okay, I don't know.
You were still employed then.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't feel like I don't think I got to read it. But maybe I did. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was a special. I don't know. Either way. But it's like I'm not reading it definitely regularly like I am some of these other books. So but yeah, and there's like more and more. Like, I mean, there's a lot of books on here that I'm just like, damn, like those are good books. And I'm just like, man, like, you know, yeah. So that was actually pretty impressive. But anyway, back to what you're saying, Jay. What do we think about it overall?
Yeah, I was just talking about what you call it, but yeah, what are we thinking overall?
Image with an exclamation point. Image. 30th anniversary anthology #1. Oz, well, let's start with you, buddy. What'd you think?
Overall, I guess 4.
Okay.
It's a what 60 something page book.
Yeah.
Most of it is good. You know, there's a couple stories here and there that one of us or the other didn't like. You know, you're gonna get when you have this many stories with 9-10 stories, it's gonna happen. But overall, the book itself is great, and it's gonna make you want to pick up the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 from Oz. Moses Magnum, what'd you think?
It's about a 4 also. I enjoy. I've been wanting an anthology of Image stuff. Not in the way that it's presented, but kind of like a Shonen Jump version of what they already have, you know, like to get people intrigued. And it was something that Jeffrey suggested during quarantine to help keep comics alive, physical comics. And this is kind of an answer to that, but it's done differently. But I look, Dean Haspel's in it, so yeah. 4.5 out of 5.
There you go. Jay, what say you?
Overall, I would give it a 5. Like,
okay.
I had some minor problems with the book, but overall, my enjoyment was great.
There it
and
is.
If you keep doing it, I'll keep reading it. Like, it's one of those things, like, this would definitely be on a pull list if I were to sign up on previewsworld.com.
I would give it a 4 as well. I just, you know, it like some stories resonate more than others, but you know, there's only a couple on here that I'm like, why is this here? Like we could have dedicated that page to something else. But other than that, it's like, yeah, it's a good book. I feel like it's a good buy. I give it a 4 out of 5. All right.
So,
what were you gonna say, Jay?
No, go ahead.
No. You what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, should we move on to Flashpoint?
Yes, we absolutely should. And let's. I think we can knock it out real quick if you all are down for it. You all are down to be expeditious?
I don't know what that means, but I'll be. I'll keep all my banter at with brevity.
There it is.
Brevity as a.
See.
So Flashpoint Beyond
I know,
Zero
right?
is
Exactly.
Batman. Thomas Wayne Batman is thrown from one reality into another, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he basically finds the world he's in. His Barry, who is not the Flash, and he tries to turn him into the Flash to help him get back to a world where Bruce is alive, and he is stopped by the agents of Aquaman. And that's issue 0. That is Batman, or that is Flashpoint Beyond 0.
I'm mad that you didn't call them the agents of Atlantis.
I mean, be mad then.
Fair. More than fair.
Those silences need to be fast because we got to get through this.
Yes.
So the art was okay in places. I don't know. Overall, kind of unremarkable, but fine in some places. I like Dead Barry. The story was.
I like Dead Barry.
It was more the story. I guess it would hit harder had I actually been invested in Flashpoint.
You read Flashpoint though, right?
No, I read the first issue.
Oh, you didn't read Flashpoint?
I watched the movie.
No,
that's not the same.
See, that's your problem.
I didn't realize you didn't read Flashpoint.
If you you watch the movie, that's why you have problem with the art.
Yeah. I mean, the art wasn't. This artist wasn't the artist for Flashpoint though. Eduardo Rizzo.
No, it was the artist.
Eduardo Rizzo is amazing.
He was the Night of Vengeance artist. The Batman, but the colorist wasn't the same colorist, and the colorist he shit on Eduardo Rizzo's art.
You feel like the colorist made the art look bad in this?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the art, but I like Rizzo's art. I mean, feels.
Some parts didn't feel like Rizzo, and it was because of the art.
I mean, because the color.
The color, yeah.
And you know what? You're right. Like I think there are some parts that feel less like him, and that you might be right. Maybe it is because of the color. That's interesting.
So,
that's what you don't like?
No, I mean it's like it's not great, but it's like it's just That was just the first.
There's definitely worse. There's worse pages in this book.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is one of them. Right.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
So I mean, I know why you guys are like trying to tell me this art is fantastic.
It is when Rizzo wants to be fantastic, he is, man. Look at this fucking
very awesome.
Yeah, well, that page, even that Batman, look at this fucking cover.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm sitting here oh, look at the digital guys got friggin' physical copies. I'm very excited here. I'm like, okay.
Look, I went to the shop to pick up the one.
I don't have no physical copy.
Yeah. Oh, was that your Oh, that was your screen.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. There it is. Okay, cool. That makes more sense.
But I saw this it was on the shelf, and I bought what I was gonna get. I went for what I went for, and I saw this cover. I'm like, I'm getting that. I don't care what it is. And it turns out it's the book that was supposed to be reviewed.
Yeah. Okay, what it is, I'm just getting that.
But it's fucking this cover. This Eduardo Rizzo is amazing. He did his own colors here. It's not.
Dude. Yeah, no, I hear that, and he's whatchamacallit. I mean, I really like his art, and don't get me wrong,
Like this page was amazing for Eduardo Rizzo, right?
it's it's definitely, yeah, that was cool. It's definitely like a stylized kind of look. It's not for everybody, and I don't think it can work for everything, but it definitely works for Batman at the beginning of Flashpoint, like, you know, like, or for, you know, Thomas Wayne Batman back in the Flashpoint universe. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, it actually feels pretty perfect to me.
It has the right feel.
Yeah, and
Hex
tone.
says just find the button.
What?
Hex says just find the button.
Oh, is he talking about like the button?
Yes.
Like, okay, got you. There it is. Just find the button. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Fresh News 24/7 says, "What's this image book? A crossover or a simpler book?" It's actually an anthology book, so you're gonna get parts of a full story each month, and I think there's 10 of them.
12.
12 of them. Well,
Yeah.
no, 12 stories per issue.
No, it's 12 issues. Oh,
12
it's 10 stories per, or 10 stories in this first issue at the very least.
Right.
I can't speak to how many is going to be in issue 2 definitively, but it's 12 issues and there were 10 stories in issue 1.
Right. Like the,
even though like 2 of them were like 1 page.
Yeah, like the Scotty Young story. That's not going in the next book, right?
No.
Well, that's done.
No. He said he's doing 3 of them.
It doesn't say 1 of 3 though, right?
No, but
he literally says in the story.
Right, Scotty Young will do another story, but the story in this book will not continue. The next one is what I'm saying.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see what his kid eats for dinner.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Listen, Fresh News also says Flashpoint Beyond was an awesome book that felt like a real DC book in a long time.
Like a real DC book. I don't know what that means exactly. And I get that you're saying that like a good thing. So that's cool. But yeah.
I think what he's trying to say is that it feels kind of like, because everything, after Flashpoint, the resolution, it got a little weird in New 52. And then after that, it kind of got where it was going, but it never really went back to a status quo. And this kind of takes you back. I felt that when I read it. Like, I'm like, okay, it's almost like a what if Flashpoint at this point,
Okay.
He also says, so yeah, it's like a sample book, or how are they doing it? Seems like just showing what's available. No,
not
they're
really
actually,
a sample.
Yeah,
but like
it's
a lot
anthology.
of these stories are original and don't have like actual books.
As of yet,
right?
But some of them do. Right. So, I mean, part of it is yes a sampling, but the reality is like it's not saying like, oh, here's a little piece of story and then you can go find the new book. It's like we're going to give you a story that you can get throughout the issues in anthology format, and if you want more, you can go find it.
I think maybe like 80% of the stories you're gonna get in issue 2 and going forward of this Image comics.
Yeah, I feel like half of them are 12-part stories, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But okay, let's do that. Yeah. So going back to Flashpoint Beyond, like, how did you all feel about being back in the Flashpoint universe? Oz, how about you, man? How did you feel about being back in the Flashpoint universe? And did it were you glad to find yourself there, or were you like, we don't necessarily need to be back?
I didn't need to be back, but I can't say like I'm not looking forward to being back. It's just this book is kind of weird for me, especially because I read, Flashpoint, and then I read when they brought Thomas Wayne into the regular DC universe.
Right.
And then I read the books that, I'm reading the books that it seems like they totally skip over, which is Justice Incarnate.
Right.
Where this Batman is brought into that multiversal Justice League.
Well, but it's not skipping over, is it? I mean,
it
technically, you
like,
don't know when it takes place, right?
when he wakes up, he makes it seem like the last thing he remembers is talking to Bruce. He doesn't make mention. It could be after that, or it's tough to tell if they ignore it, but they don't acknowledge it.
Okay.
So, yeah, but and it's the first issue is kind of like a I don't know how to say it, but they're redoing the original Flashpoint story, but everything's different.
Yeah,
is the best way I can describe it.
That's why I think it feels like a what if almost, but it's moving forward too.
So when you say that they're redoing the entire Flashpoint story, you're more so saying that in the sense that it's like from a time perspective, it's starting in the same place that we saw Flashpoint, except that it's not.
No, it's just
he's doing the same things.
Yeah, like he's trying to make Barry Flash again. He's trying to
like he takes the role of the Flash at this point, as opposed to the Flash to finding him out and saying, "Hey, you got to turn me into the Flash again."
But that's what I'm saying is like it's starting from the same point in time, basically. Except
what I'm really wondering is, well, first of all, it opens with our Batman, I think, gonna enter into that universe or do something with him and the whatever the mime and what those two characters, whatever.
Marionette.
But yeah, but what I really
can
think
he actually shoot?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, like he's not holding anything, but he shoots and you get shot. He does that with knives too. It's really it's a mind fuck. But what I really think this story is going to be, because they call it Flashpoint Beyond, is you guys think Baby Dent is gonna be the Batman Beyond? It feels like that's what they're gonna do. Like he's gonna
take the very least a Robin.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that Batman doesn't have a Robin, right?
No, he doesn't.
No.
I could have sworn he was going to hook him up to the chair.
The Baby Dent? Why?
Because that's what Joe wants.
Him the Flash. Once he gets some more chemicals, he'll hook him up and make him the new Flash.
Damn.
It was a good. This was a 0 issue, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's probably the best 0 issue I've ever read. I never.
Yeah,
I don't like 0 issues that much.
It felt like a 1. It did not.
Like I don't want to be Larry and say, "Oh, this is how Marvel does it," and it's great. Like it felt like one of Marvel's alpha books.
Wait, is that a backhanded Marvel compliment? Is that what you just did?
Yeah. Well, it's a backhanded Larry Marvel compliment. Like,
got it. Okay.
If Larry was a little more thought out, it's like, yeah, it feels like, like was it what's that? There's one in particular, X-Men one.
X-Men Alpha.
Yeah, but
that's the Age of Apocalypse.
Probably. No, but there was one more recent. But not recent, I mean like 10 years ago. So, but that was an alpha, and it felt like an issue 1, and it, for all intents and purposes, was.
Yeah.
It was just the one shot, an alpha, and then it makes me want to read everything else that comes after it, and this is how this felt.
Yeah. No. I would agree with you all in that this joint was an issue 0, and it does feel like it could easily have been issue 1 and would have been fine. But it'll be interesting to see if this is how they bookend or preview things. Then it's like, well, then what's going to happen in issue 1? Jeez.
Well, if it's an event and I got to buy I got to spend $30-$40 a week. Well,
I think it's going to be self-contained though.
Oh, that's where they fucked up.
I'm pretty sure it is
I'm already logging on and getting a pull list.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I feel like it is just.
It makes sense for DC. They got a lot of shit going on. Period, all around. And if they do it self-contained, then that's probably the way to go. And it kind of makes me like think about Derek being right sometimes, where he's like, you know what, forget continuity and just give you like random shit that fits into a mythos but not a continuity, you know? Because that's where this is like, okay, I didn't read for a couple years, I didn't read certain things for a couple years, and every time I jump into DC, it's random stuff. You know, like we're talking about that, like was it Dark Knights of Steel or whatever? And there's that, like that's a good book. Like I recommend that to anybody. It doesn't touch continuity. You know, the Superman, the new Superman stuff is like there's continuity built into it, but you could jump in. You know, if you're not willing to, if you're not trying to get into like the history of Superman, you could start there and have a good time. You know.
Yeah,
And
right.
this is another one. So I'm like, and then with the Black Label stuff too, like that's going really well for not follow. Like if you just want good stories with no continuity with these characters, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's it'll be interesting to see because this is issue 0 and the rest of the series isn't going to be done by Rizzo. So, it's 6 more issues, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Fresh News 24/7 says definitely didn't feel like a 0, but it was more telling the reader what has happened and where we are in the Flashpoint timeline. Don't forget this book is sort of a tie-in to the Flash movie.
It is? I don't know if that's true.
That knocks it down about 1.5
points. Look, this explains why Ezra's been acting the way he's been acting.
Well, and Barry, look, so that Barry Allen's gonna come and fix everything, but he's gonna probably he would smack Batman around, except he's not a woman.
Oh wow, sheesh. Wow, okay. Also, I should mention that the rest of the series is 6 issues, and Geoff Johns co-writes it.
So
well,
look, there's good stuff on Image.
There's 2 other writers.
Who are they?
It's the current Flash writer, Jeremy Adams, and the Teen Titans Academy writer, Tim Sheridan.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And then Jay's back on board.
Well, I think I've read stuff from Tim Sheridan before that I don't know what it was, but it clearly wasn't bad. Otherwise, I would remember his name.
And then it's going to be illustrated by Zermancio, which is he formerly did the Justice League art.
He's no Rizzo.
I mean,
I haven't seen that art, but he's not Rizzo. Like
he's definitely not Rizzo, but it's different. Yeah, it's not bad art if it's the person I think it is, but it's different. So I mean, more than anything, I think I'm just more so mentioning these things not to say the book's going to be good or bad. I'm just saying tonally, it'll be different because it won't just be Geoff Johns writing, and it's not going to be Rizzo art at all. So that means that like this 0 has a feel that's going to be unique amongst the other 6 issues that we're getting next. And so they may still be really good.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not going to feel like this. So I don't want anybody
if
to
you
like
love this. There's no guarantee you're going to
right. Exactly. I mean, that's basically the long of the short of it. Like, I don't want to lead anyone wrong and be like, oh, Flashpoint Beyond, you need to get in right now because this is what you can expect. Because it's like not necessarily like issue 1 might have a completely different kind of feel to it than issue 0 did. It might, it's definitely going to have a different artistic feel because if I'm not mistaken, Oh Boy's art style is much cleaner than Rizzo's. If it's the person I'm thinking about. And then on top of that, you know, when you're talking about 3 writers versus 1, even when the 1 writer is still in the room, that's a different thing too. So, yeah. But anyway, well, we'll wait for Jay to come back, and then we'll do some rating, and then we'll get out of here. Jay has returned. Jay, what would you rate Flashpoint Beyond 0?
I'll give it a 2. Like I'll try finishing Flashpoint and see if that raises the grade up.
Listen, you should just be finishing Flashpoint because supposedly you love comics. Supposedly.
It's like the greatest thing that happened to DC since like 1986.
Dude, for real. Like it is like literally like of all the things that you've read from DC Comics, and for Flashpoint to be the one of the few that you're just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like, no, dude, like Flashpoint. Like, come on, man.
Fine.
Jeez. Yeah, okay.
It's the best thing that happened to DC since Zack Snyder.
Oz.
Although technically that was before.
Oz, what do you think of Flashpoint Beyond number 0?
I'm gonna say 4 because I did read Flashpoint. Like, it's an interesting world.
Yeah,
and you don't even need to read the whole Flashpoint. Really, you could just read the 3-parter. That's the Batman Flashpoint.
Yeah, Night of Vengeance,
and that's still like that by itself is also good.
I think I read that.
That's what Rizzo drew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read the Batman one.
Color, with the proper colorist. Because it was the team from 100 Bullets. Like,
yeah,
it was that
right.
team. Like, and it was even Dave Johnson doing the covers.
Yeah. Yeah, damn. Such a good book. But you should read Flashpoint. Like I think you should read Flashpoint. Like, you know, and you know me, like I'm not the one to mess around and be like, hey, holding up the DC banner. But Flashpoint is great. So
if they have a omnibus, I'll check it out.
Was Flashpoint, was that Kubert?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Geoff Johns and Andy Kubert.
Yeah, man. Dude, you got to read that joint.
Did something like that. It was a good team. Like, I wish the Flashpoint team was a New 52 team.
For what?
Well, for everything, like just that
all the books.
No, they had a book because, like, you know, like your what was it? Like your Batman book stopped and became Night of Vengeance. You know, your Detective Comics stopped and became like David Finch's thing. You know, so for Flashpoint, they all stopped, and those were the books you were getting, no matter what you were reading before.
Right.
But then when New 52 came out, it was a whole different creative team on each of the titles they put out.
Right.
But it wasn't the dudes that did the Flashpoint tie-ins, you know what I mean? And those dudes that did the Flashpoint tie-ins were like, they got heavy hitters, you know?
Yeah, no, it was. You're right. They were good books, and yeah, it was definitely people that were allowed to flex their creative muscles. So,
and they only had to do for about 3 issues a piece, so that helps.
That helps. Right. Moses, what would you rate Flashpoint Beyond?
I would give this a 5. I mean, just the fact that it's a 0 and it managed to hook me in like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like I said, it felt like, when I say it felt like one of the Marvel Alpha books, it's a good thing because these motherfuckers, like, I bought everything I bought a textbook that said Civil War on it because it's a Civil War during Civil War. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and this is like that. Like, I'm pissed that it's not a full event. A full line-wide
6 issues. Oh, well.
Yeah, but I want the Batman Flashpoint, the Aquaman Flashpoint, like Beyond Flashpoint Beyond. Like, I want Flashpoint Beyond and everything, and I'm willing. I have the money now.
There it is. He's like, just put that banner on stuff and let me buy it.
Right? Yeah. Look, if you make a variant cover that's a Flashpoint Beyond variant white cover for every issue that month, I'll buy it.
Too funny.
Yeah.
I'd give this a 4.5. I liked it a lot, and I hope the event's good. I'll be reading it based on what I saw in this, and so I'm looking forward to picking up issue number 1 and being just as enthralled as I was with issues number 0. So don't disappoint me, please, DC. Yes, please don't. All right, it's time for us to get out of here. Let's go ahead and do some final thoughts.
Give me 2 seconds.
2 seconds, no problem. We can do that. Vamping. Jay, why don't you give me some final thoughts, buddy?
I'm not seeing the omnibus.
Jay, isn't it only 6 issues or 5 issues?
The main one is 5 issues, but then there's all the tie-ins. It's
You don't have to
56
read
issues.
You don't have to read all the tie-ins, man. Just read
Mo
the
told
main.
me
I
to
don't
read
know,
all the
man.
tie-ins.
Deadman and the Graysons was fucking tight.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but no one's telling you to read all that, Joe.
I'm telling him
Mo
to read all
told me
that.
to read all of it.
Yeah. They're fucking tight. All of it's tight.
Yeah.
Is your final thought there's no omnibus?
I think I had a real final thought, but I don't remember it.
And you're supposed to remind me of my final thought too.
Right. Your final thought is supposed to tell me why there's no blood sport.
Oh yeah.
Oz, final thought.
Go to our Discord. I think we're all posting at this point now.
Yay!
And Hex.
Heck, too?
Hecht
Yeah.
is in there, yes. Hecht's in the Discord.
He's laughing at everything. He's not posting yet, but we'll get him soon enough.
Tiger Claw, come to the Discord.
Also, buy Oz's hat. Fantastic Forms out live. Larry almost didn't make it today because, he's unemployed. So buy the hat so he can make money.
Is
And be
that
here.
why I didn't make it today?
I'm sure I could tie it in. I don't know exactly why you almost didn't make it, but it's, it was funny.
Give us some final thoughts, Moses.
Jay, you're not getting Bloodsport because Platinum Studios bought the rights to Youngblood, and now their stock is valued at a fraction of a penny, and they won't let me buy $1,000 worth. So if I were to buy $1,000 worth, I owe the good chunk of Platinum Studios, and I can tell them, hey, give my man Jay Youngblood Bloodsport number 2 finally. And that's why you're not getting it.
Okay.
They won't let me buy any of it.
Platinum Studios is Rob Liefeld's studio?
No, they bought it under him, and that's why he's mad and he's not putting it out, because then they would profit from it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that's why he's not putting it out.
Look, I'm just making sure we're not talking about the game studio. We're talking about a different studio.
No, they're the ones that did Cowboys and Aliens.
Got it.
And
That Platinum.
they did a couple movies, comic book movies that did good, but for some reason they didn't put out anything else, so their value really dropped, and it dropped to the point where I'm like, and they won't let me buy any of it.
Because they're not public, or what?
No, it's just too low. The markets won't, the brokers. I have to go to the dude and just throw him, a stack of $1,000 bills in his face and say, hey, give me this
that
much. I can't do it through the markets per se.
Got it.
They're like, yeah, this is too risky. We're not gonna sell it. We're not gonna let you buy this.
That's funny.
I'm like, I want to lose my money. And they're like, nah, we advise against it.
Got it. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week talking more comics, more movies, more TV, more books, more games, all the stuff you love. But until then, be good to each other. We're the Fantastic Forum. Good night. Good night. Good night.